What do we got here? Drugs in the Scion? My name is Paul Fisher, aka All-American Sender. This right here is my 2012 Scion IQ. You guys might remember it from smashing through the whoops at Placer City to the Fiesta Island event where I jumped the RC jump with all the RC cars. You've probably seen footage of it. Basically in its stock condition, it's lasted about 2 seasons. Pretty amazing for something that wasn't built for this. And it's stock except for the wheels and tires and some coilover suspension, things of that nature. But as far as the drivetrain goes, bone stock. Okay, so after 2 seasons of smashing the piss out of this thing out in the desert, basically what it comes down to is this thing has a CVT transmission, no gears, and there's a lot of heat that gets built up in the CVT. It also is cooled by a portion of the radiator. The engine gets a portion of the radiator and the CVT gets a portion of the radiator. So I don't think the engine was getting hot. I think the CVT was overheating the system and then causing everything to overheat. In these cars, in their stock condition, the failure mode is basically the rings wear out. Even if you're a soccer mom, you're driving it down the freeway, you get about 150,000 miles in, and these Scion IQs will have engine ring issues, even in mild conditions. So, I don't know, we got 600, 700, 800 miles on this thing in the desert, full pin all the time, with the CVT overheating constantly. Obviously I knew eventually it was probably gonna give out. It's just part of the game if you're gonna try to do this. So what happened was, similar situation to a failure on in a stock driving conditions, accelerated the process and ended up with basically no compression in the motor. The motor's pretty much toast. You're not gonna go in and do any motor work to these types of motors. You're not gonna go in and replace the rings and, you know, hone the cylinders and stuff like that. It's just not something you would do with a motor of this nature. So basically the motor's toast, it's gotta come out. There were a couple options on what to do with the car. Do we just scrap the whole car and build something else, or do we buy a brand new Toyota motor and put it in there? The Scion IQ is basically a Toyota, so get a Toyota motor for $3,600 and put that in there, and then drive it till it blows up again, which could be in the first 1,000 miles. Who knows how long that, even a new motor would last. You go get a junkyard motor, you put that in, it's probably got 150,000 miles on it. The rings are probably already halfway blown out already. Your chances of getting more mileage out of it are pretty minimal. We were kicking around all these ideas as far as what to do with the car. Most people would say just get rid of it, just throw it away, cut your losses, get rid of the car. But this particular car, I actually enjoy driving this car. I have a lot of fun driving this car, and so I wanted to keep it rolling. You know, we kicked around a lot of things. Hayabusa motor, everybody talks about Hayabusa motor, put that in there, and then aftermarket suspension with all this, you know, suspension geometry that's all custom and 4-link or whatever suspension geometry you can think of to get more travel out of it. Obviously you want more power and more travel. So, you know, fully custom Hayabusa with a custom chassis, it's just kind of a waste of money. It's a long process. It'd be cool, don't get me wrong, you know, you'd have a sequential shift, you know, custom suspension, super strong because you could make it as strong as you want with chromoly parts. But we elected to go with something a little different. Once we started getting into thinking about it, we said, what about a side-by-side? And didn't want to do it at first, but then I started looking at the different side-by-sides. Most people would say, use a Pro R or use a Maverick R because those are, you know, the newer, more capable side-by-sides. Well, you can't really do that. The Maverick R and the Pro R, they're too big of cars, they're too long, the wheelbase isn't right. And so when I started researching side-by-sides, I kind of landed on the Yamaha YXZ. And I did that because of a couple things. One, it's a 3-pedal car with a clutch. It has a bump shifter. The driving experience, what I've heard on the YXZs, the driving experience is more visceral. You've got a clutch, you've got gears, you can go through the gears. You don't have a slipping belt and, you know, belt issues or anything like that because it's shaft driven. So it may not be the most capable side-by-side as far as like 2024 standards as far as what they're capable of off-road. It does have it checks all the boxes with regards to driving experience, and that's basically what I want this car right here to, in the future, have a driving experience that you're connected to the road, you've got gears you can bang through, you've got a clutch, so it feels like a car instead of a go-kart. Obviously, everybody calls side-by-sides go-karts and this and that, but in this particular case, when we get it in there, it's gonna be like a little mini rally car because it's got, you know, a clutch and gears, and you can bang through them, you can clutch kick it, you can probably do burnouts, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I've got about 5 minutes on the current YXZ platform that I just purchased. You can go ahead and take a look at that as it drives in the shop here. So for now, we landed on the 2019 Yamaha YXZ platform. This is obviously a side-by-side, not a big side-by-side guy. I'm used to pre-runners, and the side-by-side community haven't been involved in it. The reason why I picked this particular side-by-side, this platform works for this project, and the project is this cab is going on this side-by-side, and it's gonna be a little mini rally car. And I can't wait to show you guys exactly how we're going to do this process. We haven't done it before, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. You know, we're kind of shooting in the dark, and we think we can do it, but you guys can watch along and watch as we do it. You might see us getting a little frustrated at times. You might see us thinking that it might not work, but I think we're gonna force this one to work. We're gonna make it work. Without further ado, we're gonna tear into this thing right now, today, and we are going to pull everything off of it, take it down to its bare bones, and see what we're working with as far as the cab goes on this thing. We're gonna keep this thing intact for now. Maybe go out to the desert, rip it, maybe rip it around the property, who knows? As suspected, this thing jumps like a side-by-side, nothing like a pre-runner. So obviously we got our work cut out for us on shock tuning on this thing. We need a rebound adjustment in the rear somehow, so that'll be number one on the list once we get the car together. So stay tuned. All right, so we're gonna get started ripping this thing down. We're going to pull all the body panels off of it. Got a windshield guy coming to pull the windshield so that we can get into the dash area. I'm gonna focus on the interior, stripping the interior out of this thing. And we have Nick from Ewing Motorsports helping us with this whole build process, actually. I'm gonna be working on it too, but not gonna sit in the shop and do it all by myself. So Ewing Motorsports is gonna come in and help me with most of the build. So let's get into this right now. Most people don't know that this Scion IQ has a back seat. Obviously super dinky, but it does seat 4. But today it's coming out. So we're gonna get down in deep in this thing and get these back seats out, and then we'll get the front seats out. Looks like the previous owner of this vehicle left me some change, so I think we're gonna be able to fund the build maybe with all this. I mean, it just keeps coming. There's crusty change in here. What do we got here? Drugs in the Scion? During the process of tearing this apart, we obviously found paraphernalia, distribution bags. It's a little crazy knowing that I've been driving around the desert with this in the vehicle the whole time, smashing through whoops, doing what I do in the vehicle. It's just insane that there was drugs in there the entire time. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 1, tearing down the Scion. In the next episode, we're gonna go ahead and get into the YXZ and figure out mounting points, things of that nature. Please like and subscribe to follow along for the next episode down below.